That's good. All right, what's up, everybody? We're live. We're coming at you from a different angle today. We're coming at you. It's a little lower quality, I know. Bear with me. Yep, you saw that. Bear with me. We're coming at you from a different angle. I'm on my laptop today. I know it's an old laptop. I don't got a MacBook. I don't got that good quality. Coming from the lower quality. Got that HP, I think HP going. And yeah, I'm coming at you from my computer. You're probably wondering, why is he coming at me from his computer instead of his trap phone that usually records. Shout out to Andrew. Because I've got the absolute honor of interviewing Ian Uncle Creepy McCall, former UFC fighter. Who has he fought, dude? Demetrius Johnson. He fought Demetrius Johnson. He was supposed to fight John Lineker. That fight didn't go through. Who's some other dudes he's fought? Tons of great names, dude. Unreal, the amount of skill that he has. Kyoji Horiguchi. He ended up fighting John Lineker. Brad Pickett, Joseph Benavidez, he's fighting tomorrow. Justin Ortiz, Jesse Formiga. He fought Dominic Cruz, dude. Like, he's been in there with some of the greatest fighters of all time. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. He's been up there with the greatest. Something just happened. Zoom's so confusing, man. I don't know how it works. Yeah, but that's what we're doing today. He should be joining me any second. Just send him the meeting ID and password. He should be joining me any second. Super excited to have him on here. And then later, I'll be joined by former UFC title challenger Gray Maynard, 2011 Fight of the Year with Frankie Edgar. He's from Michigan. He's not from Michigan. He went to Michigan State. He's an All-American wrestler there. And how can you not be excited to see him fight, or to see me talk to him? But yeah, I'm waiting on Ian to join the recording, and then we can go from there, man. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, I'm still learning how to use Zoom and stuff. This stuff's confusing, man. I'm not good at it. I'm not good with Zoom. Oh, I think that's him. If it's not, then this is awkward. Hello?
How's it going?
Hello?
Let me try and join real quick. Okay, there we go.
Ian, what's going on, my guy?
I'm trying to find some headphones. Hold on one second.
All right, no problem.
Sorry.
No, you're all good, man. Super excited to do this. Yeah, but as I was saying, he's been in there with the best of the best of the best. And, for me to be able to talk to him, it's a true honor. True honor for me. He's waiting to get some headphones, and then we should be good.
All right. Go. Old ass headphones that fit in this computer. All right.
What's going on, Ian?
Oh, just your typical morning at the McCall house residence. I get up and I work, and my daughter gets up and I work more and hang out with her, and then I barely got to smoke with my cat this morning. Kind of bullshit. Too much to do. That's my morning ritual. Is I get up, breath work, meditation. If I have my brain tap, I'll put it on to get into a meditative state. And then I go downstairs and I tell the people that I live with that I love them, and I go outside and smoke a joint with my cat.
That sounds like the life right there, man. Is that like your life now that you're retired from fighting?
Yeah, I'm retired man almost 2.5 years ago, and I'm an educator now. I work in life sciences and healing and education and wellness, health and wellness as a whole. I'm a psychedelic integration coach for high-level athletes in sports, but that's just a fancy way of saying I work in psychedelics.
Yeah,
that's my passion.
Yeah, And so what is like a psychedelic, or is it that you're doing now?
I work mainly in psilocybin, which is magic mushrooms. One of the main active ingredient, I guess, is what that we know of so far in science. That is inside of magic mushrooms. So that's my specialty. But there's other psychedelics that I work with. I do scientific studies with psilocybin. We've got a performance study I'm doing with one of my mentors uh, up in Santa Cruz, where I'm trying to build the skeleton of it first. Figure out the analytics and the points we want to, figure out what are our performance points, and then getting it in with a big university, Stanford, Santa Cruz, somewhere, wherever I can. My mentor has been a intellectual. His name is Robert Forte. He is one of the original OGs of psychedelics from the 70s. He worked with Leary and Wasson, and you don't know these names, but these are the most important people in the science. And now he's come back to psychedelics because he dropped out maybe in the 80s, 90s. And yeah, he's asked me to help him go back into the world of psychedelics. And you like my black fingernail pen? My daughter made it. She's like, show everybody. I'm like, okay, shit, I'm sorry. So yeah, it's I do. I'm in the process of setting up 2 different psychedelic studies with psilocybin and for healing. There's the CTE and TBI issues that you can heal. There's trauma, there's PTSD, addiction. These are the main things that I need to fix because people are broken. I was broken at one point. I was on suicide watch after I retired. I was a fucking mess. And for me to be able to fix myself the way I did and be, successful in other avenues like I have been, I'm working with consulting for a bunch of different companies. I just bought a farm out in the desert. I mean, my girlfriend is a scientist. She's been a UCLA professor for a long time.
Oh, really?
And she deserves to have a sort of job that I share with her with a life sciences company. You've heard of stem cells, correct?
Yeah.
So or CRISPR technology. Joe Rogan always talks about turning a wolf into a chihuahua back into a wolf. Like, we have the same technology. We just don't use it for that weird shit. We heal people. We create something called exosomes. So it's a whole long process, but I like doing nerdy shit, science, and that's just what I obsess over.
Yeah. Have you always had a passion for science? Like, even when you were in the prime of your fighting career, was science always like something like, all right, when I'm done fighting, like, this is what I want to do?
Oh, of course. Well, when I retired, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was so scared. It was not fun. But I had some words of encouragement from a good friend of mine. His name is J.J. Thomas. He's a bronze medalist in the Olympics snowboarding. He's the U.S. snowboarding coach, or one of them. He's Shaun White's half-pipe coach.
Oh, really?
He just called me one day. He goes, "Hey, man, you free? Can we talk?" I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" Like, I knew we were friends, but I didn't know we were that good of friends. And I dated one of his friends, and he was just a good buddy. But yeah, I didn't know we were that good of friends. And he's like, "Let's chat." And he goes, "This is gonna suck. This is gonna suck. You're retiring." And he walked me through all the steps that I needed. And I'm the kind of person that's been coached my whole life, so I like having coaches and people do that because it helps me get through things. And I know there's tasks that I have to get through, where I went through 5, 6, 7 stages, whatever it was, and it was awful. But he was right. I came out on the other side of it, like I am now. I'm in better shape than I was when I'm fighting. Not on drugs, I was on painkillers or opiates and drugs in general, bad ones, prescriptions and stuff. My whole career from 14 to 34, that was the peak of my, no, not the peak, that was the range of my sporting career. I was a super athlete and everything. I was very lucky to have the genetic lottery that I had and the disposition for violence that I exploited. But yeah, I wanted to be 3 things as a kid. I wanted to be a scientist, I wanted to be a comedian, and then I wanted to be a fighter. And the fighting thing, yeah, I did that, became the best in the world. It was a shit show, and it's over, thank God. I was a tortured soul in fighting. Like I said, I was addicted. Yeah, I was mad. I was crazy. And I was also, the only time I became sober, I was world champion. So I was able to compete at a world-class level, being high on Oxycontin or whatever, but that was not fun. You know, it was, and now I use it as an example. I'm like, look, I know you younger kids aren't as addicted, or you didn't have to deal with that epidemic, but my generation was ravaged by opioids. And I died. I died of a drug overdose. I was in rehab twice. I was in jail a bunch of times. So yeah, I got out of that, and then I have dabbled in comedy recently, not
really?
recently, over the last,
That's awesome.
yeah, I did some touring, one tour, you know, in the East Coast, and it was cool, but I've become so disillusioned with comedy. It's just not my get down. I don't like Hollywood. I don't like anything it's tied to. You just see this group of people like Chris D'Elia, and this whole, it's, you know, and I don't want to put it on him, but it is. And you know, there's no excuse for that. And I just, you know, I don't know. And it's, I could say a lot of other stuff that I don't need to voice because I have a lot of friends in the space, and I do love comedy. I love the act of it. But it was the people that I like the best, to be honest with you, in comedy, are the people that I hang out with at open mics. It's these weirdos and low rent type, you know, fucking dirtbags or whatever you want to call them. I love these people. I'm one of them. And but when you get to the higher ups in Hollywood and whatnot, because I live in Orange County, most of my best friends, all my best friends live in Hollywood or that surrounding area. I grew up being there a lot because my family had a big business in downtown LA. It's fucking gross. Yeah. All that unchecked power. It sucks. The people suck. The people are awful. Sure, I went up there because there was a lot of beautiful women, and I have a blue check mark. I exploited my blue check mark and got laid a lot. And I was a douchebag. I just like my friends. My friends work in these industries, and they're friends with these super celebrities. And I mean, like specifically, a lot of the comedy guys are gross. They're just dicks. I'm like, I'll fucking slap you in the mouth. Like, you don't talk to people that way. Like, and even if it's not me, don't talk to that dude. Like, and it's, I don't know. It's these people that get unchecked power and money and whatnot, and I'm over it. I'm done. I want nothing to do with it. You know, it was never about the money for me. And for me, it was, I've been on a billboard a couple times to sell out an arena. And I was like, oh, I can do that in comedy and just be the only person up there, not have to fight someone for everybody's amusement. I can just make jokes and have fun. Oh, that's cool. That's way better. I can do that. I'm just over it. But you know, that's enough of me venting about comedy. I always wanted to be a scientist, and I will never have the schooling or the degrees that my girlfriend has or my friends have, whether they're a doctor or a scientist and chemist of whatever. I'll never be that. But when I talk now, these people listen, which is amazing. They just like pat me on the head and like, wow, you're fascinating. Like, how do you know so much shit? I wake up every morning, and like I said, I breathwork, meditation. I do, you know, microdosing protocols. So microdosing psilocybin, LSD, you know, these certain things that you can work with that help performance, that help you get better, and not just performance. That's my nerding out and trying to make people better athletes or better performers, better versions of themselves. But the first part is specifically with psilocybin. You heal your brain through a process called epigenetic neurogenesis, and that's the healing of your brain. Simple. And you know, I mean, how old are you?
18. Okay,
so recently, and I don't give a shit if I get flack for this because I tell the truth. I've had a lot of kids, or I should say, well, some kids, but mainly the parents come to me because now I'm 36. I'm an adult. People take me serious. It's kind of cool. And they bring, you know, they usually with their kid, their daughter, their son. I've heard more from the daughter side to mother, but I know the son and daughter, and that whole mixture is different. But usually, I don't know why it's been more mother and daughter, because I know that relationship's hard. I mean, I have a daughter, and I see it, and we're fucking great. But I know her and her mom, it's just different. Females are just different, you know. Yeah. And they come to me and they go, you know, I have a question. You know, my kid's been taking microdoses, you know, and you know, they told me, they admitted to me when I refilled their Adderall prescription or their Xanax prescription or whatever, I brought it to them and they said, I don't need it anymore. And they go, what? Why? And we went to the doctors and the doctor said you needed this. And they're like, Nope. I read something online that was cool, and my friend told me about this, and then I got some microdoses, and I'm better. I can concentrate better. I'm more loving. Everything in my life is better.
Mm-hmm.
And the parents go, what do I do? I'm like, well, your kid is doing something illegal. That's the first thing you need to know. Yes, it's a Schedule 1 felony, which is insane. It's insane that it's a Schedule 1 felony. But I break down the science of it. I break down the not just the physical healing, but the emotional healing, the addictive healing, the trauma healing. Because you're still young, but these traumas that you've been through as a kid that you might not even know are that bad will manifest as something. They get stored in your tissue, they get stored in your body, and they will come out during stressful situations when you don't want them to come out. And if we can negate that and deal with those things and heal those traumas and repair the brain from damage that we don't even know we had, whether it's knocking our head or some sort of chemical we keep ingesting that's damaging it, and even if it's not, we're not getting high off it, it's just something we don't know we're putting in our bodies, fluoride or whatever, we can fix that. And I get to sit with the UFC. I mean, they invite me out. Jeff Nowitzki invites me out to fights. Number one, because he's my friend. That's the first thing. He's a good buddy of mine. But he invites me out and goes, you should be. What are you doing this weekend? Like I was at the last one in Vegas that was in public.
Mm-hmm.
I took my girlfriend out because she does the studies with me, and her son and his best friend for the first time, and it was good. But I get to go out and sit with. I mean, I won't drop any names because it's not what I do, but I get to sit with athletes who a lot of them are already taking psychedelics, or they're microdosing a little bit. At least they've heard of it and they're interested. And I get to break it down for them and offer them my services. I don't give people drugs. I don't sell drugs, but in mass. So they say the numbers are growing 40% every year of the amount of people that are taking psychedelics. People are going to take them no matter what, and especially when they're stuck inside. Because they see all the benefits. They see people like myself constantly pounding information out, and not just like me going, my own woo nonsense. Here, hold on one second. Hello. Hey, I'll send her out. Okay. Sorry, my ex-wife. My ex-wife just got here.
Okay.
London's here. Rochet's here. Okay, so. What was I saying? Where was I?
Are you saying something about how you went to the last fight and then you sat with some people and you tell them all the benefits?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes. Okay. So I just know that these people are going to be taking these medicines. They're not drugs. I might call them drugs to be silly, but they're really not. They're medicines. They've been used by people who are healers for thousands of years. I do harm prevention. I teach them what not to do during these situations so that they get the most out of it, because someone has to do it. And if they can come to reliable people like myself and the people that I work with, then awesome, because I've seen people of all ages, whether they're teenagers or they're on the verge of death, literally on the verge of death. They have mommies outside. Okay, man, I love you so much. Have fun. And call me later. Have fun. Give your sister a kiss for me too. Give your sister a kiss. Okay, so they're gonna do it anyways. That's the thing. So I just want to make sure they're prepared and that they understand what to do after, because the medicine itself is not that. It's how are you going to integrate the things that you learned during said journeys into your daily life. How are you gonna use these to make yourself a better version of yourself? That's all it is. And there's techniques, breathwork, meditation. I mean, everything down to chakra alignment and like, it's stuff that I always laughed at, because I've always been into yoga. I've been in yoga since college. I've got a strong yoga game, and breathwork and stuff. And you have these people who are like, it's all about love and light, and I'm like, okay, shit, whatever, dude. I'm busy. I'm trying to figure this out. And they, when you have those people they're great people. They're so well, they're great. But you have to get past some of the, like just this verbal diarrhea almost. They're going to get so mad at me. They hate when I do this. But I look at some of them as like the people who talk about Jesus too much. Like I talk about psychedelics too much. It gets annoying. I'm sorry. I can't stand it. But, these people have a lot of understanding of the world and themselves and this stuff. And chakras are real. I talk to people, the smartest people around about it, and they explain to me all the time. And I just go like, oh my God, this is so silly. It's so silly, but it works. It's real. It is energy, vibration, chemistry. I mean, you can change your neurochemistry with a smile. A smile. That's all it is. That's why I do the breath work and meditation every morning. And then I go downstairs and I grab my daughter or my girlfriend's kids, which are all grown, or her, and I just tell them I love them. I'm like, how are you? How's your day? How's your morning? Are you awake yet? You want some coffee? You want some food? I love you. It's like, it's just, it makes people happy and it changes the rest of your day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do teach integration coaching for couples, for parenting. So I need to walk the walk and talk the talk. Like I need to do all of it. Like I'm a very proud dad. I'm a very proud, boyfriend and father figure to these kids. And it's, it's me putting daily practice of what I talk about every day. What would I tell my clients? What I tell people? No, you need to do this in your neurolinguistic program. Listen, what are the stories you're telling yourself? What are the stories you're telling other people? Like, it's a lot, but it's a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, it sounds like it sounds like you're really passionate about the stuff that you do in your post-fighting career, and that's good. You always want to be passionate about whatever you're doing, whether it's fighting or whether it's working in science. Sounds like you're really passionate about it.
Yeah, I'm truly happy and passionate for not the first time in my life. I mean, I'm truly happy. I think for the first time in my life
Mm-hmm.
that I can remember. But passionate. I get obsessive about stuff, and I like being the best at it. And I know that I'll never be the best in psychedelics or science, and that's fine. I have the drive to accomplish things. I have the energy now that I'm not getting my ass kicked every day by training partners and by my coaches and just by working out, stress. I have so much energy. I mean, it's also mindset, obviously. You've heard of the fight or flight response.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you're afraid, when you're stressed out, your stress hormones go up like cortisol through the roof. Your body isn't going to take care of anything else. If you're in the fight response, I mean, it's funny how they say that. One side you're stressed out, one side you're not. If you're fighting, you're kind of stressed out. But the flight, like what they're trying to get at is there's a bear chasing after you. You're trying to survive. Corona's here. We all think it's going to get us, or whatever puts you in this state of fear, where your body's not looking to protect itself outside of just the immediate survival. And people are in this state constantly. I was in this state constantly before, and it's not healthy. Your body's not going to absorb nutrients. Your body's not going to produce positive chemicals for yourself. I mean, being in love, I always say this, being in love is neurohacking, or biohacking. Your body's going to produce a bunch more positive hormones like growth hormone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you not be happy and be in love if your body is producing things that make you feel way better, make your body function better? There's no brainer.
Yeah. So like I know you just said how like right now is the first time like truly happy. When you were fighting, was that like not something you experienced a lot? Were you not like truly happy when you were fighting?
Well, there was a different response. Again, back to the neurochemistry. I was trying to get a dopamine response. I was an addict. I was addicted to drugs, and I was addicted to jumping out of airplanes and risking my life, and anything crazy. Literally anything crazy I could do. I would get a crazy rush. It's a dopamine hit from your body's looking for, or women. This chase of whatever starlet I'm after, and just getting it, and then laying there and feeling gross after. It wasn't. I just was never happy. I was always constantly just in this state of being cocky and pissed off and kind of being a dick. And you know, I was always undernourished. I didn't eat enough. I had to maintain my weight my whole life. From 14 to 34, I had to maintain weight. And sure, the thing is, I've been really healthy my whole life. I was raised by people who are healthy. You know, my mother's a chef. I traveled with my own chef when I fought. And I just learned a lot. And I always thought in my head, well, look, I can party way harder if I eat healthy, if I work out every day. And it works. It's true. It did have its benefits, but you know, it just wasn't the greatest time. Like I said, I was tortured, and that was no one else's fault but my own. You know, MMA was great to me. It was my own craziness that just made my life insane.
Mm-hmm. And so looking back in your life and your fighting career, if you had the choice to do it all over again, would you have dedicated your prime years to fighting, or would you rather have dedicated the years that to the stuff that you're doing now and be a scientist?
I would have done it all over again. I mean, obviously, if I could know what I know now, sort of thing. I mean, shit. If I could still have the drive to fight, or I guess I kind of do have the drive to fight, but it's not to actually fight. It's not to compete. It's just the martial arts aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and I'm really good at fist fighting. I like it. I do still like violence. That's one thing these people in psychedelics don't understand. I'm like, do you know where the fuck I just came from? I can eat you right now. Like, I'm a savage. And these people just don't get it. And I'm like, I didn't sign up to be you. I signed up to just get better. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm working on the love and light. I am, I promise you. But you need to cut me some slack because I say bad words and I'm kind of weird and crazy and with a weird gross sense of humor kind of. You know, it's I would definitely go back and do it, even if I didn't. If I could do it without the drugs, if I could do it and just replace it with psychedelics, like if I was starting at your age when I was 18 and I went pro, oh man, I'd be unstoppable. I mean, I could beat the best guys in the world being high on Oxycontin. Like, and
it's insane.
I don't mean to talk shit, but I'm just better than you. You know, maybe not as a person, sure. At that time, I was a shitbag. Great father, yes, that was my only good attribute. But I've been obsessed with this since I was 4 years old. I also have a great meat vehicle that I used to my benefit. I completely exploited it, to be honest. And that was with, you know, all the stuff I've talked about, diet, exercise, this really smart modalities. But I was just a better athlete. I was a better martial artist, a better fighter, whatever it was. I was just hindered, you know, and that's that. So if I don't know, I would definitely go back. There's just some caveats, I guess, because I don't want the
of course
anymore.
Yeah. Where'd it go? Yeah, I know that. No, do you still keep up with UFC and other events and their fights and stuff? Or are you still like a fan of like watching it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I work with athletes. I work with, and not just fighters, but other sports. Other people that are motivational type speakers and just business people, just all kinds of people. But yeah, I love fighting. I love it, and I also started a company, or not started. I didn't start. I started consulting for. Cause that's what I do. People bring up stuff, and I go, okay, let's hop on the call, and I talk about it, and they go, wow, you know some shit. Let's do this. And my friend Steve Seow from Microsoft. He just retired from Microsoft, actually. He started something called the Scoring Senate, where you have instead of judges, because we're trying to fix judging and scoring in mixed martial arts, because it's horrible. And people are going to be like, oh, you're just bitter because you got screwed. I'm like, no, I don't really care. My life's great. I mean, sure, it would have been way different, but whatever. It was whatever. I'm not worried about it. The person that took my place did a pretty damn good job at it, so I'll just take it that way. So Scoring Senate, you have, instead of judges, you have senators. Senators are people like Boss Rudin, Chuck Liddell, Rashad Evans, Heather Jo Clark, Ashley Evans Smith, Angela Hill, Matt Brown. I mean, the list goes on. Frank Trigg. These are people that Din Thomas, Yves Edwards. These are my friends. These are people I love. You know, like and he goes, hey, can you help me set up the Senate? I was like, well, number one, if we're going to change judging, we're going to change the judging setup. Who's judging, at least? We need to change scoring as well. And that's one thing I keep saying openly about this, what we're doing, because I'm not very good with math. It was not my specialty growing up. So if anyone can help me figure out a system to get judging proper, I was thinking like an abacus. You have 10 points for striking, 10 points for this, 10 points for that, and then you just he got 4, he got 6, he got 5, 5, 3, 7, 2, 8, whatever it is, and I don't know. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
I use my calculator. So as a fan, you would that would make sense. So then you go on our app. Oh, dude, we just got investment money, so I'm so happy because I'll have my first real salary in my life. So we have all the senators, and they go on the app, and you can create a profile so you can see who you judge like and who do your scores match up with. But then also you know who these judges are. They're famous fighters. They're Hall of Fame fighters, so they give a fuck about the sport. And you see their profile, and you see all the scores they've ever made. And we have a podcast, so they make a bad score. We can call them out. You can call them out. Call us out to call them out on video, where we talk about it. Why'd you make this score? And just debate about it. So we're held accountable. Not these people who are grandfathered in from boxing that know nothing about MMA. Nothing. I mean, it's getting better, but it's a flawed system. I don't want to rain on their parade because they're in charge. And yeah, they're in charge, so I can't say anything. But it's true. And I don't mean to be mean, but they don't know they're doing it. Simple. Their system doesn't work. And I'm not trying to say you're wrong, blah, 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 but you are. And you're doing it wrong. And let's fix it together, because I always get what I want. So give me what I want. Let me help fix this sport. I'm trying to fix the brains. Let me fix the scoring at least. I'm not trying to do anything too much else. So we have a lot. You get to see all this live, and you get to, whether it's you hate the score, you love the score, comment on Twitter, and we're creating an ecosystem here where, I'm obviously, I need to text Dana about it, or everyone does, but it's a cool setup, so go check it out and tell me what you think, and please, because it's an interesting look at what we're trying to do. We're going back to what everyone wants: real fighters judging real fights.
Yeah.
Because you see a bad score almost every fight, and it's not like there's controversial scores, which we will go over. We just did Jones Reyes. We'll go over controversial fights from the past. And if you want to see those, message Scoring Senate. We analyze them, and we say this is the score we came up with. I had Reyes. I had Reyes winning on points. Like when it's just analytics, I had Reyes winning on points. I thought he won 1, 2, and 3, but he won. But then when you look at it, like, we don't have the he's a champion to be the champion sort of thing. It's I need numbers. I don't need just add it in. That doesn't work with that. Adding in your thought process into numbers has no validity. It does not work.
No, not at all.
So it's like you can't have feelings of it. So but when you look at the last 2 and 1 quarter round, John did what John does, and he took over. So it's like,
exactly.
It was just, that this is why we have these debates. This is why we have the talks about it, because that's what it deserves. You're talking about. It's fun and it's healthy, because we're not arguing. No one's mad. Like, this is why we can't have an emotional response to things. Is what I'm saying.
Dude, I was at that fight. That fight was actually on my birthday. And for my birthday, me and my dad decided to fly down to Texas. Because I'm from Michigan. Me and my dad decided to fly down to Texas. Because I'm a big John Jones fan. And me personally, I thought John took 3, 4, and 5. That third round, like, if you gave it to Reyes, it was probably just a John Jones fanboy and me coming out. But if you gave that third round to Reyes, I would have understood. But me personally, I gave it to John because I thought he was a little bit more active, a little bit. But I mean, hey, it just depends on what your important criteria is for scoring fights are.
Yeah. And after I made those scores, when I started to debate about it with my colleagues, I went, oh, maybe I made the wrong score. You know, so that I'm one of the people in charge of the goddamn thing, and I'm like, oh, did I do something wrong? You know, like this needs to be changed, and that's what we're trying to do. It's just, and have fun with it. You know, like this could just be. We would love to sell it to the UFC, you know, what have you. But if we don't, I'm still having fun doing it. I'm still creating content and some understanding. Understand we're going to educate fans on how these fights should be scored, especially if they watch the podcast, because you know you get to see our facial reactions. You get to watch us watch the fight, and then you know, man, woman, young, old, everyone gets in there and they talk about it. And I mean, you have guys like Frank Trigg and Boss and Rashad and myself, whoever. I mean, Ashley was like, I'm not the best judge. I'm like, yeah, but you're a good personality. I'm not asking you to judge my fight. You'll learn. But just to hear the perspective of people that understand this in so many levels is really enlightening. And I just think it's such a beneficial tool, you know?
Yeah, it's awesome. Did you watch the Max Holloway Volkanovski fight last week?
Oh yeah. And
what was your thoughts on that scoring?
Well, oh man, I went with Alex because I judged that fight that night. And I don't judge all of them, all the fights, all the pay-per-views, because I'm one of the head people at the company. I bring in other fighters to do it because that's just fair.
Yeah, it's fun.
And plus, we pay fighters very nicely to do it. That's another thing. I can get retired fighters money, or any fighter money, because fighters don't make enough. I thought Alex won, but again, it's one of those fights I'd have to watch a few times to really give an answer. But yeah, I mean, that was a great night of fights. Jeez.
Yeah, it was such a good night.
People are shitting on this
with the main event, but whatever.
But why? Why? That's the question. Why would you just? When I did, I'm not. I just from perspective.
No.
What is your?
Me personally, I am a big Jorge Masvidal fan. I met him down in Texas. He's one of the nicest dudes I ever met. I'm just a big Masvidal fan, and I just don't like it when, you know, you've got, you know, Jorge Masvidal, this dude who just goes out there and just has fun, beats people up, and has fun with it. And then, you know, I mean, like, it's no disrespect to Kamaru Usman. Kamaru did what he had to do to win the fight, but it's just me personally. I'm a big Masvidal fan, and it just sucked seeing him kind of get restricted like that. But I mean, hey, it's the name of the game. Yeah. You move on.
Yeah, you can't stop him. That's the thing. You look. I mean, Usman, he's done that to Masvidal. He's done it to, you know, everybody else. That's what he's that good at. And he was getting outstruck. He was going to get knocked out if he kept standing with Jorge, because I mean, and that, well, Jorge is so good and savage and tricky, and you know.
Unreal.
But when you realize how big he is, he's not small. People are like, I even have that feeling sometimes. He's a big dude, and he just has this natural frame where you look at Usman's the Adonis. He's just jacked and just, you know, and he's bigger than most guys in the weight class. And then you see Jorge just as bigger, maybe a little bigger frame without all the flashy muscle. Like, he's a good sized dude, and
he's big.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it just sucks, especially for me. You know, my favorite fighters to watch are Masvidal, Conor, Dustin Poirier. Who else? I love Cowboys fights. I love Cody Garbrandt, and he's my phone case. Cody Garbrandt.
Nice, very nice.
You know, it's just, I don't know. And like, for me personally, all those fighters to me are just like kind of like, you know, just standing and bang savages, and it just sucks when, you know, you got, you know, Conor fighting a Khabib, takes him down. It's just not like, it's not like fun for me as a fan, but you know, you gotta respect the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, imagine that. I mean, you see Khabib on top of people, and he's just like a bear.
Insane.
People they just look frightened. They look so scared when he's on top of them. I'm like, fuck, that's scary. I mean, he talked shit to me. Well, he was arguing with me, him and all his fucking friends.
Oh, really?
They travel in packs, and I was just staring at him. I was like, this guy's not that scary. Like, he was just like, you fucking blah blah. And I was like, sit the fuck down and shut up, you know, like. And I was just, after you see what he does to people, I'm like, fuck. I mean, I would have got my ass beat, but he's not that big of a dude. Like he's dense, you know, he's thick and obviously insanely strong and so good. I'm a grappler.
Mhm.
At Otimo Yama with Colin Oyama for so long, you know, Romeo Donza and all these kickboxers. So I love Muay Thai, but I love being able to get someone on the ground and control them like that. It's just fun. It's so dominating, you know, and it's, I mean, we're just different kind of fans. That's all it is.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, you can't disrespect anything. And, you know, all people that like fights different. I don't know. I'm more of a flashy kind of guy, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I know when your common opponents, Joseph Benavidez is going for the belt tomorrow. Do you have any thoughts on that fight? You think he's going to get his revenge?
But who's he fighting?
He's fighting, I don't even know.
Figueiredo got sick?
Yeah. Or no, yeah. I'm not sure how to say his first name, but his last name's a Figueiredo. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah. Okay. I thought Figueiredo got sick, or one of his cornermen maybe. Well, man. I don't know, man. We'll see how Figueiredo gets down in weight because he fucked up last time, and he crushed Joe. So I feel bad for Joe. Maybe Joe will be like a Uriah, and you know he'll always be a bridesmaid, never be a bride. You know, like, and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to Joe, but maybe that's how it goes. I don't know, and I hope not. I'd like to see him win, and nothing against Figueiredo. I mean,
he's a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, he missed weight, which is shame on you, but you know that's whatever. I can't get mad at it, I guess. Yeah, so I hope Joe wins. You know, because I would just like to see that Cinderella story kind of finish well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's all the questions I have for you, Ian. I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you doing this for me. It means so much to me to have a UFC legend coming on this podcast and just sitting down and talking to me for a little bit. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Hit me up.
Yep, no problem, Ian.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much. You have a great day, and I wish you the best of luck in your new career.
Thank you. And go check out themccallmethod.com. You can book some sessions with me for integration work. Check out thescoringsenate.com. If you like life sciences, xslbio.com, elixircure.com. I do a bunch of stuff. But yeah, just go check out themccallmethod.com.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, man. I'll see you later.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Have a good one.
See ya.